lot of issues in the medical world. And today you are also, you've made the Kerala Files, which has exposed issues of society, the ills of society. So as a filmmaker, you're taking great steps towards not commercial success only, but also creating social awareness. When you embark on your projects today, is there a conscious thought in you today to do something, not just money making, but also doing such projects which will create more awareness? Like they said, after the movie, they got calls from everywhere. As a filmmaker, do you feel that conscious thought in your head?
I think what is very important is when Sudipto Dada came to me and narrated me this script, I felt it was my duty to make this film. More than anything else, I felt compelled. I felt that if we are not going to tackle these subjects, and we knew the challenges, we knew it's going to be difficult, we knew on that day when we started that we will be labeled a propaganda film, we will be told people with agenda. We knew every criticism that was going to come our way. But that should not deter us from doing something which is so humane and so right. And that's why when somebody asks certain question, he or me, we get a little bit emotional, because at this point of time we should really talk about what is happening, these girls, their lives. That should be our priority, that should be our concern. We get emotional because we feel why we are not able to look at their pain, why we are not able to look at what they are going through, why the country needs to be woken up. And after this film also, we still need to be woken up. It makes us really emotionally angry sometimes. But that's the reason why I made the film. And I'm very, very proud that we all these girls are brave girls. They all knew what they were getting into. We all knew we're going to be labeled a lot. And yet we all have done it with all our intensity, with all our integrity, and with truth. And that's what matters at the end of the day for all of us. So today we are in a very happy state that at least the nation is talking about this subject, this topic. Forget about Kerala's story. It will come, it will go. This topic should not go. This topic should remain in the center of the nation's conversation. That is important.
Hi.
Sorry? Sir, we have said again and again. मैं आपको एक सिंपल बात कहता हूँ. शोले में गब्बर सिंह विलन है ना, तो सिंह कम्युनिटी के अगेंस्ट तो नहीं है रमेश सिप्पी साहब. हर फिल्म कुछ बुरे लोगों की बात करती है, और जब कोई भी फिल्म कुछ बुरे लोगों की बात करती है तो हम हर वक्त तो उसे किसी रिलीजन से नहीं जोड़ देते. सिंघम 2 में तो एक प्रीस्ट है विलन, तो क्या हिंदू सारे संत समाज को विलन कहने की कोशिश की गई है? बिल्कुल नहीं. वो एक कैरेक्टर है. हमारी फिल्म में कुछ कैरेक्टर हैं जो टेररिस्ट हैं. तो क्यों हम ये, जब हमने सिंघम 2 के वक्त या शोले के वक्त ऐसे सवाल नहीं उठाए कि आप तो देखिए हिंदुओं को टारगेट कर रहे हैं, तो आज क्यों ये सवाल उठा रहे हैं? आज हम ये क्यों नहीं कह रहे हैं कि ये फिल्म टेररिस्टों के अगेंस्ट है? तो लेट अस अपलॉड द फिल्म रादर देन ट्राइंग टू फाइंड समथिंग टू से कि समहाउ ये फिल्म किसी और एक इशारा कर रही है. क्योंकि हमने बनाते वक्त बहुत केयर रखी है कि हम किसी भी धर्म, किसी भी कम्युनिटी, किसी के भी अगेंस्ट नहीं है. हम सिर्फ और सिर्फ उन परपेट्रेटर्स के अगेंस्ट हैं और उन्हीं को हमने दिखाया है. दैट इज व्हाट दिस फिल्म इज अबाउट. दिस फिल्म इज अबाउट दीज गर्ल्स. दिस फिल्म इज अबाउट दोज 3 गर्ल्स हु लाइव्स वर डिस्ट्रॉयड. उनकी जिंदगी बर्बाद हो गई. ये उनके लिए है. बाकी सब हमारे अपने तरीके हैं ना अग्री करने के, एंड दैट्स मोस्ट वेलकम इन डेमोक्रेसी. एवरीबडी हैज़ अ राइट टू डिसअग्री. बट सवाल क्या है कि हम कभी ये सवाल नहीं उठाते ना. किसी और फिल्म में आपने ये सवाल उठाया? हर फिल्म का विलन किसी ना किसी रिलीजन से तो बिलोंग करता ही है. ऐसा तो कोई विलन नहीं होगा ना जो किसी रिलीजन से बिलोंग नहीं करता. आपने कितनी बार ये सवाल उठाए हैं, लेकिन आज ये सवाल क्यों उठा रहे हैं? हम लड़कियों की ओर क्यों नहीं देख रहे हैं? दैट इज अ बिगर क्वेश्चन जो हम सबको जवाब देना चाहिए.
Hi Vipul, Kiran Jain this side. Hi from Dainik Bhaskar. फिल्म की कहानी अच्छी लगी, सबको फिल्म अच्छी लगी। मेरा सवाल ये है कि ये फिल्म की कहानी ज़्यादातर आईएसआईएस और टेररिज्म पर है। आज जब आपने ये जो एक्टिविटी रखी है, इनसे हमें इंट्रोड्यूस कराया है, आपने उन लोगों को सामने क्यों नहीं लाया, या ला नहीं सकते या ला नहीं पाए हैं, जो एक्चुअली आईएसआईएस और टेररिज्म का शिकार हो चुकी है इसमें?
उसमें ऐसा है कि हम उन तक पहुंच नहीं सकते। जिस लड़की की कहानी शालिनी, वो अफगानिस्तान की जेल में है, और निमा का टेस्टिमोनी हमने फिल्म के एंड में रखा है। गीतांजलि के माँ बाप का टेस्टिमोनियल भी हमने रखा है। लेकिन वो लड़कियां जो कहीं चली गई हैं, उन तक पहुंचना हमारी रीच के बाहर है।
उनके
मैं एक पॉइंट ऐड करूं। हमारी उद्देश्य ये नहीं था कि कोई एक एग्जीबिशन करके लड़कियों को दिखाने की कोई इरादा नहीं था। यहाँ पे कुछ ह्यूमैनिटेरियन कहानी बोलने की कोशिश की। गीतांजलि की जो माँ बाप की, जो आपने फिल्म की एंड में देखे हैं, वो माँ बाप भी आना चाहते थे हमें सपोर्ट करने के लिए, लेकिन वो लोग ऐसे दूरी में रहते हैं, उनको इधर आने में 3 दिन लग जाएगा, क्योंकि नियरेस्ट शहर से भी वो लोग बहुत दूर रहते हैं। बात ये है, कितने लोग, हमने कहीं नहीं बोला कि 50,000 लड़की 70,000 लड़की आईसीस में चले गए। उसके लिए आज भी हम क्या बोलेंगे, अलग अलग दुनिया की जगह से पेपर भेज रहे हैं, प्रूफ। आज भी एक प्रूफ आया कि 42,000 लड़कियों को आईसीस ने इम्प्रेग्नेंट की है। आज आए हैं, मतलब पायनियर न्यूयॉर्क करके कोई मैगजीन से। बात ये नहीं है कि हमने कोई सेलिब्रेशन करना था, कोई शो एग्जीबिशन करना था। हमें 3 प्यारी बच्ची की कहानी बोलना था, और वो कहानी हमने बोले, और उस कहानी के थ्रू एक बहुत बड़ा इशू को हम टारगेट की। ये श्रुति अगर अभी बोलना शुरू करेगी ना, रात हो जाएगा, आप सुन नहीं पाएंगे, सिर्फ आंसू बचेगा, आपकी एनर्जी खत्म हो जाएगा, सब हो जाएगा। अगर श्रुति अपने कहानी बोले, अगर अतीरा अपने कहानी बोले, चित्रा अपने कहानी बोले, तो बात यह है, मुझे दुख इस बात की हुई, हमारी देश में आज भी अगर गरीब को रोटी देने की बात करें ना, तो कोई सवाल उठाएगा, इसका कोई जरूर कोई उद्देश्य है कि गरीब को रोटी दे रहा है। पॉलिटिक्स ने बहुत बुरे कर दिए हमारी मन को। इन तीनों बच्ची की जो हमारी फिल्म में थी, और यहाँ पे जो 26 लड़की बैठी है, इनकी दर्द किसी को नजर नहीं आते हैं, यानी कि हमारी पॉलिटिकल मंशा मन में आता है, which really pained us.
Hi, this is Mohua from the Times of India. I'd like to know about these 7,000 women that the ashram is saying that they've de-brainwashed or de-doctrinated. How do you determine that they were doing something which is anti-national or anti-human? Are there any police records? How do you determine, and how do you find these girls? Secondly, Kerala is also reputed as one of the most religiously diverse states. So when you're doing something like this, how do you ensure that it's not leading to some sort of vigilantism?
That was a good question. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
Mohua from the Times of India.
Okay, that was a good question, Mohua ji. So, if we have to talk about the 7,000 people that we have brought back, it's first of all not just women. It's both men and women whom we have brought back. And they were identified not through records, they were identified by their patterns of, they had been so radicalized, or they were so brainwashed into a different ideology or state of mind due to a certain particular ideology, that their pattern of interactions with their family, pattern of interactions with their closed ones had changed so much that they had become averse to their own families. They wanted to leave their families, they wanted to disassociate from their friends and near and dear ones, and wanted to, they were inclined or sympathizing with the anti-national or anti-human trend, which is what the parents or their close relatives noticed, and that was when they intervened and they brought them to Arsha Vidya Samajam, where we were able to debate with them based on, we were able to give them counseling, intellectual, ideological counseling, and bring them back. So if you ask for records, 7,000 people, we have the data, but then there is no evidence otherwise, because these people who have come back or have been affected, they don't speak up about it.
or their families don't want to reveal their identities because of the political scenario or because of the concern for the safety of their lives. People don't come out and speak about it. That's the reason there's no evidence. Like Neema Matthews' character depicts in the movie, when the policeman is asking for proof, where is the proof? So this is why we don't have proof. People don't come up and talk about it. Does that?
About the diversity of the state, the film actually wants to maintain the diversity and just want to expose the bad apples. So if exposing terrorism is going to affect the diversity, if that's what your conclusion is, then I don't agree with it. I believe that when you expose the bad elements, the rest of the communities can come together and live better life together.
Hello, sir. Straight. This is Vinamru from First Post. I had a question for Sudipto and Vipul. My question is, before you made the Kerala story, were you both aware about the atrocities that were being committed against these women? And secondly, Kerala has the highest literacy rate in India. So for the ISIS to be able to successfully brainwash as many as 32,000 women, was it an appalling figure for the two of you?
Do I need to tell you about 32,000? Already we discussed. I think you heard the answer, right? We- नहीं अभी मैं आपको बता दूं ये जो एनालॉजी है ना दैट 32,000 आई मीन केरला का हाईएस्ट लिटरेसी रेट है तो इसमें केरल में इस तरह की इंसिडेंट्स कैसे हो सकता है केरल में ना दो केरला एग्जिस्ट करता है मतलब मुझे बोलने में कोई बुरा नहीं लगेगा हमारी रिलीज की दूसरे दिन एक कोई जर्नलिस्ट लड़की ने मुझे फ़ोन की थी कि मेरी इंटरव्यू लेना चाहते हैं मैंने बोला था आप अगर केरला जाएंगे और जहाँ से श्रुति आती है ना उसकी गांव में आएंगे जहाँ से चित्रा आती है उसकी जगह जाएंगे जहाँ से ये कन्वर्शन की इतना बड़ा रैकेट चलता है वहाँ पे जाएंगे तो मैं आपकी इंटरव्यू दूंगा ट्रस्ट मी वो लड़की नेक्स्ट डे केरला गई इन सबसे मिली कसरगोड कोयिकोड ये सब जगह पे अकेली घूमी और वहाँ से रिपोर्ट लेके आए वो उस कन्वर्शन में गए जहाँ पे इन लोगों को कन्वर्ट किया गया था तो मेरी कहने का मतलब है केरला दो एग्जिस्ट करता है एक केरला जो पिक्चर पोस्टकार्ड जैसे हैं बैक वाटर खूबसूरत लैंडस्केप कलरीपट्टुम डांस मार्शल आर्ट हाथी क्या नहीं नौ मतलब सब कुछ दिखता है जो दुनिया भर में जानते हैं और एक केरला जो बसता है ना जो नॉर्दर्न पार्ट ऑफ केरला है मल्लापुरम कासरगोड कोयिकोड जो साउथ कर्नाटका की मैंगलोर के साथ जुड़ते हैं इंक्लूडिंग मैंगलोर ये एक टेरर नेटवर्क की हब है यहाँ से जितनी कहानियाँ आपको सुनेंगे जितना जानने का पाएंगे ये तब आपको पता चलेगा कि हाईएस्ट लिटरेसी रेट इन द ह्यूमन इंडेक्स द वुमेन हेल्थ चाइल्ड हेल्थ की टॉप में रहने वाले एक स्टेट में अंडर द कारपेट क्या हुए जा रहा है और इसके लिए हमारे साथ बहस की जगह अगर हम आपकी मन में एक्चुअली ऑर्गेनिकली क्वेश्चन पैदा किए जस्ट नॉट टू डाउन अस नॉट टू रिडिक्यूल अस बीइंग अ जर्नलिस्ट इफ एनीथिंग हैज कम टू योर माइंड गो टू केरला गो टू कसरगोड गो टू कोयिकोड वहाँ से रिपोर्ट करिए तो पता चलेगा कि इस कहानी की सच्चाई कहाँ छुपी हुई है
एक और आपको बात मैं बताना चाहता हूँ CNN इंटरनेशनल की एक डॉक्यूमेंट्री है जहाँ पे केरल के कुछ गांव में शरिया लॉ एग्जिस्ट करता है उसकी पूरी डॉक्यूमेंट्री है आपको वो डॉक्यूमेंट्री ज़रूर देखनी चाहिए और ये वो पढ़े लिखे 100% लिटरेसी रेट वाले स्टेट की हम बात कर रहे हैं जहाँ पे गांव के गांव शरिया लॉ से चलते हैं और CNN के उन जर्नलिस्टों को कितना ऑपोजिशन उस गांव में वो सब डॉक्यूमेंट्री में उन्होंने दिखाया है तो देयर इज़ अ लॉट ऑफ मटेरियल आउट देयर हम सिर्फ देखना नहीं चाह रहे हैं ट्रस्ट मी इस फिल्म को बनाने से पहले मुझे भी बहुत कुछ नहीं पता था अब मैं कुछ थोड़ा बहुत ज़्यादा जानता हूँ इसलिए मैं कॉन्फिडेंस से कह सकता हूँ क्योंकि मैंने बहुत कुछ देखा, मैंने बहुत कुछ एक्सपीरियंस किया. You wanted to add to that, please.
Is audible? Hello. Yeah, there is definitely documentation in terms of people who, there are about cases who have gone from Kerala, joined the IS. The most recent is that of a news disclosed by the Chief Minister of Kerala, Shri Pinarayi Vijayan himself. It was about Praju, who converted as Muhammad Amin. This is a news from Balusheri. I am just quoting the news. Praju's wife, a native of Balusheri, learnt about the whereabouts of her husband who fled 8 years ago after Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan's statement in a press conference. Pinarayi Vijayan, who was speaking in the context of narcotic jihad, had revealed that Praju, a resident of Turutyad, Balusheri, was included in the list of Malayalis who joined the IS. Praju, Muhammad Amin, who is also accused in the Kinalur Mangayam Amina Umma murder case, fled the country after causing a huge financial burden on his wife and family. The wife says that it is no surprise that he has joined a terrorist organization because he would do anything for money. He has married 4 times. Praju converted to Islam 3 years before marrying her. The young woman revealed that the man who had strong religious beliefs had forced her, a Sunni believer, to be radical in her beliefs and told her that if she did so, she would get money as she wished. In 2009, Amina Umma, an elderly woman, was murdered while living alone in her house in Mangayam, Variamala. Due to lack of evidence, the court acquitted Praju and another accused, that is in the murder case, due to lack of evidence. This was mentioned by the Chief Minister of Kerala himself. We have different cases, recorded evidence which was reported in news itself of different people who converted or got radicalized, or people who belong to a certain community or religion themselves who got radicalized and joined terrorist organization. No, not just IS, but other terrorist organizations also. Not just that, there is recordical evidence of cases of love jihad in which the girl was found dead, girl or girls were found dead in suspicious situations. For example, Anila, Veni, Julie, students of Ambalapura, all this is related to Kerala. Anila, Veni, Julie, students of Ambalapura Model Higher Secondary School. Vrinda, Papinisheri, Kannur. We have at least 18 such cases of reported suspicious deaths linked with love jihad and other killings.
Ma'am, we'll give you a mic. We'll give you a mic, ma'am. Just a moment. We'll give you a mic.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, this is Runa from Web Dunia. Director साहब, I will definitely say 32,000 या 25 या 30,000 मायने नहीं रखता है, मायने क्राइम रखता है. जो उन 3 या 4 लड़कियों के साथ हुआ है वो भी क्राइम है, और नंबर्स डेफिनेटली डज नॉट डिसाइड कि क्राइम की ग्रेविटी क्या होगी. यहाँ पर मैं आपके साथ ही श्रुति या चित्रा जो भी जवाब देना चाहें, आप चूँकि पढ़ाई के ज़रिए लोगों को वापस सनातन धर्म या अपने किसी और धर्म में लाने की कोशिश कर रही हैं, तो क्या पढ़ाया जाता है और क्या दिखाया जाता है कि क्या सही है और गलत है?
Please carry. It's on.
Hello, yeah. See, when a person who has been radicalized or brainwashed into a certain ideology is brought to our institution, they are in a particular mindset that they are not even willing to converse with us. If you tell them, if you try to tell them morals, or if you try to tell them something about good values or something, they're not willing to listen. They say, I don't want to listen to something related to Hindu Dharma. I do not want you to quote from Vedas. I do not want you to want to hear anything from the Bhagavad Gita. I want to talk only on the basis of the Quran and the other authentic scriptures of Islam. So that is where the challenge is. So unless we ourselves are not well versed, or we haven't learned the scriptures, authentic scriptures which are leading these people, or certain verses from the authentic scriptures which is motivating these people into adopting radical or anti-national mindsets, and counsel them and bring them back by telling them how fallacious these are, or how dangerous these are, or how they have been fooled or brainwashed into believing that something like this is the words of God or divine inspiration. We have to know ourselves, or we have to be educated ourselves. So what we, answering your question, what we do, how we do, we counsel them based on comparative religion. That is, along with Sanatana Dharma, we also teach or we also impart teachings in the scriptures or teachings of the other religions. All we teach Sanatana Dharma also. We teach all other religions, not just Islam. We teach Christian. I mean, we have studied and researched and taught about all other religions, and then we teach them the real history of India. That is the undistorted history of India, cultural, social, and the true history of India's freedom struggle. What we are taught in our textbooks today is mainly biased history. So we teach them the real history, which is based on facts and evidences and the current happenings. And we also provide them spiritual counseling based on Yoga Vidya and meditation and certain sadhanas. This is a overall comprehensive syllabus which is not, it's not like somebody comes, you talk to them, you can revert them in 1 or 2 days or 1 or 2 hours. If it's purely ideological, just a 2 or 3 hours conversation is enough to bring someone back or de-radicalize them. For example, in the case of Anaga, she was brainwashed so ideologically, but it was purely ideological conversion. So in her case, it just took about 3 hours to make her realize the fallacies of what she was made to believe and adopt such a mindset and bring her back. But if there is some other angle involved, for example, love trap or narcotic jihad or different other traps, then it takes time. You need to be very patient, and the person has to cooperate, the parents have to cooperate. So it's a very long process and a challenging one too.
Yeah, hi. Hello.
Okay. One final question, please, ma'am.
I have a question. Hi, Preeti here from CNN News 18. Anaga, can you share some of your life stories, like कैसे हुआ आपके साथ में?
Hi everyone. First of all, hats off to the entire crew because you have done such an awesome job. This film is actually closely related to my life and to my heart. I'm Dr. Anaka. I'm coming from Thrissur, Kerala. I'm a physiotherapist by profession and full-time worker of Arsha Vidya Samajam. Before 2 years, I too went through a stage of conversion. And like Shalini Unnikrishnan, that character, my life was also changed upside down during my hostel days. Even though I was born and brought up in a practicing Hindu family, I was not at all aware about why I'm doing all these things, or I was unaware about my dharma. And when I went for my higher studies, I left home and joined in Ernakulam in a college, and I stayed in a hostel there. And like Asifa, I too had many roommates. The conversion strategy, what shown in the film, is exact, not a bit exaggeration. I must say that it is exact because they themselves create a situation and slowly inject or slowly started to say about their religion. Between the normal conversations itself, between us, religion came a topic and they started us questioning. Just like whatever you are asking. Actually, after seeing the film, I was really angry with you because you had acted so much best, okay? Just like that strategy means first they will ask questions, they will put you in confusion, and at that confused state, they will start criticizing our religion, that is our gods. The same exact questions, why are you having this much gods, why are you praying to a stone, so much questions they keep on asking, and because of we are unaware about why we are following all these things, or I was unaware about my dharma, so I couldn't answer any of those questions, and like Shalini Unnikrishnan kept silent, I also kept silent. And after noticing, I felt that somewhere a degrading thought came to me that why I am not knowing these things, so I have to search on. So I came to my parents and asked these questions, what I faced from my friends. And they told me that just because our forefathers are doing all this, we are following the same. It was obviously not convincing to me. I started searching in social medias also, but there also I couldn't get any convincing answers because many explanation to slogan, etc. Are given. But what a common man has doubts, it was not given by any of the scholars or I couldn't get from any sources. So slowly, as depicted in the film itself, slowly Shalini started to ask questions. Okay, if this is wrong, then what is right? They make us to ask like that. And slowly I started asking, okay, then what is right? And they started to say that Allah is the only God. No others should be worshipped other than Allah. If you worship anybody rather than Allah, you will be put in hell. The first thing they will present. They are presenting their ideology in such a way that it is the best and it is the only truth. And slowly I started asking more questions. And when they notice that we are interested, they will give more books, that is Quran translations, that is called tafsir. And also they started to share videos of Zakir Naik and M.M. Akbar and all. And actually these videos of those people made me actually, radicalized. I was radicalized to that ideology. Because I slowly, gradually, my brain was fed up with this radicalized ideology. I was becoming a dangerous girl, I must say, because I started to believe that none of the ideologies except Islam is right. And not only right, I started hating, because it is said in the Quran itself, no consideration should be given to the kafirs. I'm not at all exaggerating it. There are many verses in the Quran itself how they consider or how Allah consider kafirs. So I keep on studying this ideology, and slowly I became a anti-Hindu. And I must say that not only anti-Hindu, I became anti-human, because my parents' tears, my family's tears was not at all bothering me. They kept on crying and fall to my feet and said, please don't go away. I started all practices that is followed by Muslim, that I was living like a Muslim woman. For about 5 years, I studied Islam, and at 2020, I was actually living like a Muslim woman. And at that time, you can just imagine, I was from a practicing Hindu family, and puja and all are going on in my home. At that time, in upstairs, I'm doing namas. And my parents couldn't tolerate what I am doing. They can't even stop me. But what to say? I'm asking them questions and they can't answer any of them. So they couldn't stop me from anything. They could only do one thing, was cry and say that please don't go away. And at last my father and mother, I'm not at all exaggerating, it was what I have gone through. My father and mother came to me and fell into my feet and said that please don't go away. If you go away, we will commit suicide. No other options left between us. So the one who gave to birth me, the one who loved me, the one who cared for me, I told to them, anyway, you are going to die as kafirs. You are going to be put in hell. It does not bother me if you commit suicide or not. I was really rude to them. Sorry. Actually, this ideology, I must say, this ideology made me to say that, because it considered kafirs as just below animals. They consider kafirs as below animals. And it is also mentioned in the Quran that if your parents are non-Muslims or disbelievers, you does not have to obey your parents, or you does not have to consider your parents as, you does not have to consider them as parents. They were taught like, I was taught like that. And let you guys decide whether this ideology or this behavior is anti-nation or anti-human. You guys decide. And I was so rude that not only to my parents, even to my cousin sister's child, when at that time she was just 4, while the azan was given, I couldn't perform namaz at time, and she was keep on coming to me and say, come, let's play, let's play. I got very angry, and I pushed her down. Just see, she's just 4. She's not even knowing what I am going through. Is this anti-human or what? And after 5 or 6 years of Islamic study, I was completely against others. Only Allah or Muslims are right. Is this a tolerant thinking? It is intolerance, right? And by God's grace or my family's prayers, I was able to come to Arsha Vidya Samajam and meet Acharya ji. And as Vishali ji said, the ideology which I was carrying in my head for the 6 long years, he proved me, Acharya ji proved me to be false within just 3 hours. It is only through our course, Adhyatmika Shastram course. So I must say that I was escaped just because my parents' prayers or whatever it is. But what the film showed, what strategy they tried to expose in front of public is real. Please don't say that it is some agenda or what. You are playing actually with thousands of girls' lives. Please do believe that. After coming to Arsha Vidya Samajam, I also met so many cases, and you asked how they are becoming anti-nation, right? Some of the students from US came to us, and he was highly radicalized in this ideology, and he was asking his Pakistani and Afghanistani friends that, when are you coming to attack India? Why are you not demolishing the temples in India? Is this anti-nation or what? Is this anti-human or what? Actually, I am not saying that all Muslims are wrong or all Hindus are right or all Christians are wrong. I am not at all saying that. But this ideology surely, definitely contains some of the verses or that makes anti-human or anti-national. And we must say that a strong caucus is functioning all over the world to convert people, to radicalize them, to recruit them to this ISIS or any other terrorist groups. And it is a fact. And this film is actually, I must bow down before you because you have been that much sincere to that topic. And I couldn't watch the film. I watched the film actually by holding breath. I want to say that each and every scene, I want to cry loudly. Hats off to you guys. Thank you for taking this topic and exposing before the public and bringing it to the big screen. Thank you all. And also, I must thank you, my Acharya ji, my Guruji. Acharya Manojji and Arsha Vidya Samajam. Because of them only I could come back to my dharma. And so many, regardless of how many threats or whatever crisis we are facing, some of them in this society, we are ready to even give or surrender our lives for saving our sisters, daughters, all them, not only girls, all them. We are ready, and once of all, thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.